Those of you not getting an ad. How's everything going, my friends? Oh, welcome to whoever is here, whoever ends up finding this. Paul says, uh-oh, he's late. But you said that after I started on my end. Might have been a little delay, but I was like, maybe what time is it? I got, all right, it was 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah, I've been later. I still haven't dealt with this. How is everything going, Mr. Waldrop? How are you? I did see your messages today about your fancy new guitar, which is rad. I was at work, so I didn't get to respond to them. I wasn't going to be like Facebook messaging while I was at work today, but it's not as bad as the flingy maple blue one, but it's good. It's okay. Oh, a little bit of back pain today to complain about, but I'll try not to dwell on it. I'll try not to dwell on this mess. I'll try not to dwell on anything negative. I try to be positive. Had a pretty good week overall. I want to say I had a sad day. I had a pretty low day, but let's not take that day out altogether and then just do the rest of them. This is like a 7.2 week, which is okay. That's pretty good. He's asking for all kinds of different stuff. He's changing the order on you. Will you have that sometimes when you're doing custom work and people like send you changes and stuff? Tell them to get you signed the agreement, or even if it's not, but like, no, just you can't be changing stuff. Like, give me the order. Now it's the order. Every change should be like $100, even if it's a little thing, like the type of finish or like the depth of the nut slots or anything. $100 every change after the initial commission. $100. On top of whatever that change costs. Made rosewood pickup rings, and then he wanted clear acrylic. I'll take the rosewood pickup rings if you're not using them. I was thinking about doing rosewood pickup rings. Actually, I probably will be doing rosewood pickup rings on Dusk whenever that gets back into the system of working on. That'll probably be getting rosewood pickup rings. Are they humbucker pickup rings? You just said throw them in the box with the router plane. Because yeah, the Dusk is supposed to be getting rosewood pickup rings. That's weird placement on the fingerboard with the dots. This guy sounds like he sucks. Single coil. Boo! Everybody can like what they like. Might just be you and me tonight, my friend. There was right-hand shot said hello, good evening earlier, but I don't know that name, and he doesn't seem to still be here. If you're still around, welcome. I saw Lachiness, I thought. There he is, present. Single coil humbuckers, so not the same size and shape. Boo. It's okay. I'll get my boy Tyler Peterson to CNC me. He was developing different styles of pickup surrounds to rock on his CNC. I'll just take some rosewood down to him and pick one of them. It'll be okay. You keep dropping out on the Apple TV. That sounds like a you problem. Your life keeps getting hung and repeating itself. I'm not doing anything differently than any other week. In fact, one of the people who is normally here on the internet is not here. So it can't be, theoretically, it can't be on my end. Got good Wi-Fi connection and everything, so it's not, I hope it's not my end. If it is, I'll go yell at Boy and be like, get off something. Having the same problems. It just keeps saying the same thing over and over again on a half-second loop. Huh. Well, that's gonna suck. All right, let me know if it continues, because I guess I could set up a new feed and try it again. That would be pretty crap. It's the remix version. The wicked. A little wicked whack. Oh, I hope that gets on repeat for you guys. Wicked whack. Who is that? That's Crisscross? Wicked whack. So is it garbage? Like, you guys let me know if this is just shit and I need to restart. Because I don't want people just coming in and then like leaving because it's shit. Suddenly the feed is working. It's because of wiggity whack. Is that Crisscross? It's working now. Okay. The stream is fine. The content, on the other hand, is absolutely perfect. It's exactly what you came here for, so you don't get to complain. I mean, you will, but you keep coming back knowing what you're getting. Just saying. Like, it's broke again? Okay, I'll go see if Boy is on like too many devices. If it keeps up. You guys got to keep me informed, though. I'd say I get what I pay for, but at least Shannon sends stickers. Shannon makes more money. I'd send stickers out too if I was making Shannon Rogers money. If he's playing Roblox, that's it. Okay, hold on. I'll go see what's going on. Back momentarily. All right, I don't know. He he is up there PS5ing Fortnite, and he's got a tablet going with something else happening. So I said, okay, you get one or the other, my friend. Fortniting PS5 and you maybe YouTubing something else. It's like, shut something down. People are complaining. They're gonna not watch, and it's gonna cost me 47 cents, and you're gonna have to pay me for that. Rebecca Touched by Yarn is here. I don't know that she maybe has shown up on one of my shows before. She is a frequent guest over on Brian's show. What's your upload download speed? 9? I don't know. These things I don't know. Basically nothing changed this week from normal weeks other than but even like Boy is the only one here. Wife's off doing volunteer work and whatnots. So he's on 2 things, but normally he'd be on at least 1 thing, and then she'd be on another thing, maybe 2. So it can't be a congestion problem. Need to get him his own tinfoil covered moose. Those are expensive. Moose are not cheap. Okay. Need more people to sign up on patreon.com/wooden things and stuff. And then I can get him his own moose. Yes, I have not chatted, but I've been here. Okay, Rebecca's chatting tonight. Rebecca is a knitter. Rebecca, do you also do crochet? Or you just knit? She makes hats and blankets and scrubbies and all kinds of things. She just seems like a genuinely nice human being. So be nice to her, okay? You guys, sometimes you guys can be a little bit. Send you a link after, and you can do a speed test. You should be able to do all those things together, though. Okay. I don't know anything about internet's ins and outs. I know sometimes in the past at various connections and stuff, if there's too many things coming in and going out, and sometimes it takes me 2 hours to upload a YouTube video, and sometimes it's a half an hour to upload a YouTube video. She crochets and knits. Just broke again, watching me do the knitting moves. I don't know what to tell you guys. Do you think that I should shut it down and start it back up again? Is that going to help at all? Because I don't want to keep hearing people complaining about it being shit. Hasn't broken once for Pinnell. Oh, so it's not me. It's you guys. If it's working fine for some people, then it's not me. My wife's a crochet person. Got her a shirt that says, "I'm my husband's favorite hooker." It's a bold choice. It's a bold purchase. The iPhone is keeping up, seeing the skips. Apple TV just freezes. I don't know. I'm doing the same thing I always do. Last time I was on Brian's show, actually last 2 times I was on Brian's show, he was telling me that my audio was all garbly and like crap, basically. I was like, I do the same thing here that I'm doing on everything else. So I don't know. Technology. Am I right? Got the NHL on the TV, so you were on the iPhone tonight. I thought game was tomorrow. I told somebody at work that it was not hockey night. Uh-oh. I thought game was tomorrow night. I have a feeling that this might be another one of these not my Oilers years. It's been, was it 2006? The last time I had to be disappointed by my Oilers in their playoff hopes and dreams. I'm not as big a hockey fan as I was, but it'll still be pretty heart-wrenching to have them once again. I should have worn a jersey. I could go put one on. If they're struggling, let me know. I will go put on a jersey. They're up 3-1 at the end of the first. It doesn't mean anything. Aren't they the Texans now? No, they're the Minnesota North Stars now. Wait. Beer. Oh, these ones didn't even make it to the fridge yet. The fridge is full, so these ones didn't make it into the fridge yet. North Stars from Minnesota are the Texas Stars, yeah. And I believe the Hartford Whalers are the Carolina Hurricanes, maybe. Yeah. No, the Oilers have always been the Oilers. And they do what the Oilers do, I gotta say. The Edmonton Oilers are like, they are the Dallas Cowboys of hockey. They always seem so promising, at least in terms of the fandom. The fans always think that it's going to be their year this year. It never is. But that's most of my sports teams are like that. Or the Oregon Ducks football team last year could have been their year. Nope. The Cardinals always kind of suck. The Arizona Cardinals are never really a competitive football team. Not since, what was that? 2011? 2008? I don't remember. When we went all the way to the Super Bowl. You know, if he steps away for a beer or a smoke and doesn't return within a short period of time, we won't know if his phone glitched again. It's not my phone. Clearly, it's not my phone if it's working for some people. It sounds like it might only be Apple people. Is anybody having glitch effects on not Apple products? because then we know what the problem is. We can troubleshoot this, my friends. We got IT experts. So they play hard until the third quarter and then take a nap for the rest of the game. You're not far off. Sometimes they come out strong and then fall apart. Sometimes they play really good for 3 or 4 games and then they just for the next week and a half. I don't know. I'm watching a different YouTube video without issue on the Apple TV. Why are you watching 2 YouTube videos at the same time? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you should be focusing in on one piece of entertainment at the same time. I just had to go kick my boy off something because he was doing multiple things. Suspect it's a network issue between US and Canada. I don't know enough about the technology. Eric Habakabaka is about to have lunch. What are you having today, my friend? Chicken parm? Learn about negative rake scrapers. Cool. I don't have any negative rake scrapers, but I want them. I just want a negative rake cutter for my Easy Wood hollower to swap out. Because Matthias is building a completely new wooden bandsaw. I don't know if that's a joke, because he probably is, and people will just gobble that up. I would rather just stick this in the back of my hand. Oh, it's too early for me to be chicken tenders with onion rings on a toasted Turkish bread. Yeah, okay. All right. That sounds pretty good. When you say onion rings, do you just mean rings of onion, or are we talking like breaded and deep fried onion rings on a chicken on a sandwich? Because if it's just raw onion, like rings of onion, no. Yeah, about that. Stupid hollower uses a different size carbide. Yeah, I know. It's just little. Deep fried. Good. Approved. It's like I have to approve of what people eat. But yes, I approve of this meal. What's the side? Feels like that needs. What's the sauce also? I'm gonna need details on the sauce on the sandwich and the side dish. Feels like maybe like a chipotle mayo. Or some kind of, like, it's got to have some spice, maybe some sweet chili with a side of like Caesar salad. That'd be good. I would enjoy that. Had to buy new carbide cutter heads this week. Finally broke on you. Yeah. You can only sharpen them so many times. Both Cosman and Stumpy made out of touch videos last week. Weird. Sorry. Belt sander hate and a Clifton plane review where he calls the little tab on the Clifton not as good because it's pained. Sure. Bought a negative rake C10 and it uses a CI 0 and it's a CI 3. Yep, sure is. Should have just fired me a message. I would have. It has it written on it. On the bar, dude. Mine is CI5. Like hugely engraved right on the bar that this takes a CI5. Does yours not have the information on the tool itself? Coleslaw. No! Boo! Pepper mayo and sweet chili. See? Perfect. I was like a chipotle mayo and a sweet chili, and he's got, yeah, I like it. Just check that mortise machine. It's still there. If it's still there, you can maybe get it cheaper and be like, I don't like lowballing, but the longer somebody has to wait to sell their thing, the less they're going to maybe be willing to take for it. Don't rip people off. Morally, ethically, do not rip people off. But understand that generally the prices go down on things after a while if it sits there. Finished the oak slab cutting board today. The oaks, I love this. This ongoing tale of the oak slab cutting board. The oak, yeah. It does, but the CRS kicked in once I started looking at drum sanders in woodcraft. What? What's the CRS? I'm still thinking drum sander is probably coming. The shop stool situation could very easily be not very. It'll be once that's out of the way, that space would very nicely turn into a drum sander spot. I also, update, kind of. I had a dream. I didn't have a dream. It may have been dream-like. I woke up the other day with sort of a vision of like a way to redesign the shop when the shop renovation happens. I suddenly just like saw in my head by just reversing a couple of the order of operations of a couple of things, table saw and bench on that side of the building or on that side of the shop, and opening up this side of the shop, getting rid of that bench, separate stations, etc. I was like, well, this could be good. And so I think I have in my head a new shop layout for when the reno happens. And it's not a huge change. It's basically like reversing the shop. And then instead of having one long bench, I have smaller stations that may or may not be mobile for jointer, planer. It'll be jointer, planer, bandsaw, sanding station on this wall. That wall will be table saw, workbench. No. Hold on. Should have written this down when I had the vision. Jointer, planer, bandsaw, dust collector on this wall, running piped to all of those. That side is workbench, table saw, sander. I should have written it down. Can't remember shit. Oh, the CRS. You say that, but I think it depends. I feel like loading it in the trunk of my sedan already makes it worth paying what he's asking. He says 300 crossed out, reduced to 250. Yeah. I still think that's if it functions, bring a piece of wood with you and drive a chisel down into it, and if it cuts a square hole and doesn't sound like it's having problems, I think it's a buy. Too many carts is still better than anything immobile. Dealing with my many carts and then completely immobile late in mill. Well, I'm just thinking for like I don't necessarily want a mobile jointer cabinet. Like if I'm pushing a thing and then the wheels start on a jointer, and I only trust those locking casters so much. I think probably the jointer should be on a stationary. Planer, maybe. Could roll out and back in. The bandsaw is already on a mobile base. Maybe a mobile flip top. Oscillating belt sander flipped over to a something else station. I just walked out and checked my Easywood Pro hollower and it's a CI3. Huh. It is clearly, maybe this is an older or not Andor. Andor was a good show. This clearly says CI5. CI3 is what I thought the hollowers were, though. When you said it, it was like, yeah, you're right, it's a CI3. But this clearly says CI5. There's another number. It's never going to show up, but that cutter itself, I can't make it out. Get a magnifying glass and see what that number says. You would think the bar would know. They work well enough on a 6-inch jointer. It would probably work well enough on an 8-inch jointer as well. I don't make a huge, I just think the jointer of all the tools, I don't want it to possibly move when I don't know if it's gonna. I think that would be the worst tool to have just suddenly shift. I like the trick where everything's on feet, but you have a dolly that slips under and you twist 2 square sticks. I like those. I think they're a Rockler, actually. And I think they make them specifically for workbenches. They're like, you step on it. They're kind of like the uppy downy that I have on my table saw, where you step on it and the casters engage and lift things up, and then you can drop it back down. But they are not inexpensive, I don't think. That might be a good thing. Maybe I'll get a bunch of those. Probably not. Maybe my friend Paul's son can look at the employee cost on those things, because I would put those on 3 stations. Jointer, I would maybe put them on my workbench. Planer could be on just a regular locking caster. Jointer, workbench. Do they come in a set of 4? Paul, calling my boy Paul. It's my birthday coming up. I don't know. We'll see. The idea in my head is that this station, table saw workbench, which is also outfeed table, will go over there, which then opens up the router table side of my table saw to the rest of the room. So I don't have to move my table saw to get to the router table wing. Grinder, that's the other thing on this wall. So then that whole big long one goes away and I replace it with individual ones, jointer, planer, sander, bandsaw along this wall, all piped with dust collection. And then the other dust collector can go table saw lathe on that side. That's where it is. That's the answer. Jointer, planer, bandsaw, grinder. Table saw workbench over there. Then still missing one. Grinder? Lathe is going to remain against the back wall. Grinder should be beside the lathe. Yeah, I can move it over there. It's not that big a deal. Grinder, bandsaw, jointer, planer, workbench, table saw over there, maybe with the sander over there. It's still a concept. I think the access to the wheel mounts is annoying if you're packed in close together. I like the idea of the inner sides of the legs so they're impossible to trip kick. Yeah, but I like the raising, lowering. I like the idea of having it stationary and on the ground, and then you can press down on it and it lifts to move. I think for the jointer at least. And if I was going to make my workbench mobile, that's how I would want to do it. I don't want it on casters all the time. I look forward to seeing Mr. Oh, hold on. Live chat. Oh, 38 minutes in tonight. That's not quick. Look forward to seeing the shop in a state of disaster, but then it'll come together. You look forward to seeing it in a state of disaster. I'm not even looking forward to the process of, well, I'm looking forward to having it done. I'm not looking forward to doing it at all. Like finding somewhere to put all of the lumber and clamps and just all the little stuff. Just totes and totes of little stuff. Probably in 3 people's garages for a week so that I can clear this place out and paint and, well, clean and paint and lighting to move it all back in. It's not a process I'm going to enjoy. Oh, Bennett's here. It's the inception of change. Tear it down to put it back together. Yeah, I know. I don't want to pay any money on top of what's going into the renovation. I don't want to pay for a storage unit or a pod or any of that. So it'll be probably moving like totes of all the little stuff to somebody else's garage, stacks of lumber to somebody else's garage or something. The big tools will probably stay and just get congested in the middle, and then I'll climb around them to do the work. Just carry stuff into the kitchen and leave it there for 2 weeks. I don't want to have room in the kitchen. I don't have room in the kitchen for stacks of lumber and totes of planes and routers. 4-1 Oilers. Okay, cool. Maybe I don't have to go get a jersey on. Lots of the woods can just go outside under tarps. Just got to time it out right so the weather's good. I am I trust my neighborhood to a certain extent, but I am not putting $2,000 worth of exotic hardwood out in my driveway under a tarp. That is a thing I am not doing. I'll pile it up on my workbench maybe in the middle of the shop when we can work around it, but it's not going outside. No one is going to steal your wood. See, you say that, but park the truck on top of it. Oh, there's that. I could basically like floor the driveway with it and park the truck on it. Yeah, yeah, that's a thing. Or I could borrow a chunk of my parents' garage. They have a bunch of my old stuff from like way back, olden days, Mike. So that needs to go to the dump, and then I can take up that room in their garage with new stuff, but only for a little bit because I want it back. I got a bunch of stuff that they're storing for me from like when I was 20. 5-1. Hey. Okay, so we live to fight another day. We live to fight another day, probably. But don't count it. Beer. And maybe the first smokerette of the evening. Could loan you some dogs to guard it. Well, not if they take as long to ship as everything else from Australia. They'll starve. Little bit, because I wanted a little bit. Are you still sketching out? Are we doing wiggada whack down there? It's your fault. It's not, if it's not happening for everybody, it's you. Did you find a new beer? I did get a new beer. A lot of wood can be stored under the beds in the house. It's true. Could probably get a lot of it in under beds. Probably not most. Maybe most. I don't know, that's future Mike's problem. Actually, that's future Mike's problem. Because my boy Mikey B is going to be helping me. Under beds. I don't know what's going on, you guys. I'm going to watch it back, the replay back, and see if it is for... Cherry is in the hallway, Ash is behind the counter, plywood behind the recliner. Put a bunch under the back deck. Some more important stuff can get jammed in the office. Can also use some of my parents' garage. My friend Mark said that I can use parts of his garage for temporary storage if I need to. I found a new rum to buy next week. Toasted marshmallow rum. I don't think I like the sound of that. No, I don't think I would purchase that. Don't really like marshmallow as a flavor. I'm gonna have my smoker at. I'll be right here. Oh, it's kind of nice. I was out. I was out doing a thing that we'd organized, Crow's Nest, downtown today, and it was supposed to be at 10 to 2. And Environment Canada said that there may be a storm rolling in the afternoon. Storm showed up at 12. But it like blew in and then just suddenly, and we like frantically moved everything under awnings and things. And then it like sort of started to let up, but then it was still threatening, and it was one of those like, do we bother to situations. First step for sure is a cliff. It'll be fun, Mike. Embrace the disaster for a week or two. I think I'm gonna have to, yeah. Wife found me a toaster oven at Goodwill now just to get the Beaver vacuum pot. Absolutely get the Beaver vacuum pot, because nothing could go wrong there. If there's anything you want to be of mediocre quality, manufactured as cheaply as possible, it's something that is going to have no air in it. That's what you want. In something that pulls a vacuum to the point of not having any air in it, you want something that's manufactured as cheaply and quickly as possible. Panthers swapped out their goalie. Looks like he's about to cry. Well, he's maybe the best goaltender in many, many years. So he deserves to have an off game. Okay, dude. Like, the Edmonton Oilers are maybe the highest scoring offense in the league this year, and they kept them to like no goals, and then 1 goal, and then almost no goal. Like, his save percentage is ridiculous against like one of the highest powered offenses in the league in the Stanley Cup Finals. Like, to have an off game, Boba Robski. It's not hard to make your own vacuum pot. Let's take a moment to thank our comedy sponsor, Beaver. Beaver can... Somebody commented the other day, maybe not the other day, not that long ago, on my jointer review video. It's like, I was just wondering about whether the 1 horsepower was enough, because I see that there's a Beaver one that's a 2 horsepower for about the same price. So I said to this gentleman, I've never had a problem with the horsepower on the jointer, and B, I have purchased one thing from Beaver, and there will not be a second. And I just left it at that. And he said, thank you very much. I am about to order the King jointer. So glad that I could cost Beaver a sale there. Just doing my part. I see vacuum kits with the extra tanks to maintain pressure. $200 if you want the final solution. Okay, you guys talking to each other about vacuum things, that's fine. Everybody can make their own decisions. I won't be purchasing another item from Beaver. Chris won't either when his forklift forks like snap when he's carrying something that he doesn't want to fall on the ground. Just saying. I am past the point in my life, thankfully, and hopefully I never again get to the point in my life where it's worth it to me to buy the cheap garbage and hope it doesn't break. You won't have to, Mike. I'm going to send them an email asking you to send you some stuff. Yeah, please do. Please. That'll be great. Rikon 10305 benchtop bandsaw is seriously underpowered. But that's a different animal. Like, if somebody asked me, I'd give my honest opinion about whether or not I have enough power in the machine that they're asking about. My jointer has never given me a horsepower problem. So that was my answer. He's like, is the 1 horsepower a problem? Nope. No, it isn't. If there's anything you want to cheap out on, it's a pressure vessel from China. Yeah, that was my point. Beaver's front page: kayaks, tow behind kid trailer, cordless drills, grills for the backyard barbecue, pressure washer with them. I'm not saying that out loud, Paul, because somebody will clip it. Today's episode, today's live show, brought to you by half-assing your Carcass joinery. I shouldn't say that. It's fine. It's fine for what it is. The cabinet is glued up. I am upset at myself for a few of the half-assednesses of it. Things are not quite as tight as I would like them to be in terms of aesthetics. It's perfectly structurally sound. It's a little gappy in a couple of places, but it's fine. Fever tools, the brown standard. What's with the joints? Well, I was torn between I want to make a fancy piece of furniture and this is a shop cabinet. Like, in my head when I was doing it, I was like, shop cabinet, okay is okay. But then conflicted with like, but I want it to be really nice. And those two conflicting ideas created a couple of situation. Also, I need to make a new table saw sled that's a little more precise. It's fine. The Carcass is fine. It just needs 3 drawers and a door, and we're ready to go. The title of the show is somewhat a lie, though. I do want to just clean up a little bit of glue squeeze out in a couple of corners, a little bit of epoxy squeeze out with a scraper. So down in that corner, you probably can see a little bit of epoxy squidge. It's, yeah. But I mean, why? Like, that's the other thing that I conflicted about. Like, why clean up all the little epoxy squidges for a shop cabinet? Well, why do we take pride in anything we do? I guess. I don't know. It's okay. Beaver has a PTO shaft right next to the thing. What? You drop a chicken in and it removes the feathers. It's that way because you cheaped out on your shop stool and your work standard is spreading to other projects. You're not wrong. It was kind of like, I want to make a cabinet, so let's make a cabinet. And it's for the shop, so meh. So that was part of it, for sure. It'll still be one of my nicest shop cabinets. It'll still be, I would venture a guess and say that it'll still be one of the nicest shop cabinets in my community when it's done. Mike, what are you sitting on this evening? Sitting on a shop stool, my friend. You know, that Beaver lathe chuck would make a superior boat anchor. All the properties are there. Doesn't have any sharp, because you're type A and it's going to bother you. Yeah, I'm making a conscious effort to let go of some of that perfectionism. It's not really even, honestly, it's not even really a type A aspect. It's not like, it's not that it bothers me for aesthetic reasons or whatever. It's a I know it could be better. I know I could be better. So it's more of like a disappointment in myself. And I have enough disappointment in myself that I don't need that, and I need to like actively push that out. Same with like I got a little bit of tear out in some places. I just need to just be okay with that and recognize that you could be better and you are better. But for this one, that's good enough. I think that's important. What shop stool? I stole one from work. Of course, I mess with you. My shop cabinets are pure function, no aesthetically pleasing features. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like it has no need to be this fancy. Like, I'm the only one who gives a shit about like the fanciness of this shop cabinet. I stole one from work, Pinnell. Okay, so what Pinnell is hinting at, we might as well just get it out there. The shop stool that was all taped together finally just gave way earlier this week. All the joints broke. Not all of them. Many of the joints broke all at the same time. Yes, it happened while I was sitting on it, which was great. It was a super pleasant experience. So that was the $40 Canadian Tire shop stool. Just completely blew apart. Did you get it on video? No. I was just sitting out here having a beer and watching YouTube or something at my workbench, and I like shimmied a little bit, and then it just all gave way. But because my friend Nadia said out loud that I could steal one from work, as long as it wasn't one of the really good ones, I did that. I ran down. I actually scooped it while she was teaching up on the mezzanine. I like ran in and was like, yoink. So I still have my padded seat from 2 shop stools ago that's sitting on a pretty well constructed shop stool. It's similar, but it's built better. It's a much more rigid, structurally sound shop stool. But it's not one of the good ones. I hope she's not going to tell me I got to bring that one back. But she's not here. Shh. I haven't seen her yet. If she comes in later, don't say anything. Maybe I'll just like see how long, if she ever notices that this one's gone. Probably not. I shall dub that stool the next victim. It's good. Like, there's no give in this one. Finish the one you started. Yeah, I probably should not turn it into an end table. I should probably just finish it. Because then it could be my second of the significant furniture pieces. And it could complete that resolution. What happened with the auction? It's still in works. Okay, she needs to think of something to contribute. I still need to figure out what exactly was going on that day. 6-1 Oilers. Yes. I'm like destroyer of stools. Yeah, you don't even know. Well, that didn't really work. I was trying to make a poop joke. Didn't really work. And to be fair, it's only 2 stools that I've destroyed over, how long have I been doing this? 5 years? It's not a great ratio, but like, it's not as often as we make it sound. I just don't understand what the problem with putting together a shop stool is. How long could it possibly take? You know, like just assembling like a prefab one, or the one that I'm building? And it's not that it would take a whole long time. It's just that I don't really feel like it, and I want to enjoy and have enthusiasm for the projects I'm working on. I had enthusiasm for the first like couple hours. I was working on it, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Why are you spending your time doing something that is not bringing you joy? Because I think that's important, that we spend our leisure time doing things that make us happy. And it made me happy for the first 3 hours I was working on it. And then it didn't anymore, so I stopped. Spending 15 minutes to put some tight bond on that one that broke. Are you fucking kidding me right now? There's no chance. Even when it was only a little bit breaking, tight bond would not have fixed the problem. It was a poorly constructed, poorly engineered shop stool, and tight bond was not going to fix that. Maybe West Systems, if I had gotten to it early enough, would have added some longevity. Tight bond would not have done it. Even brand new, like before I assembled it, adding tight bond to it would not have done anything. Maybe we should all get together some materials, craft the stool for him, and send it to Pinnell to deliver. There's no way that he's going to do that. He's further away from me than probably anybody else in the chat, except Eric. I think, is that accurate? Pinnell, you're further away from me than anybody else here, right? Other than Eric. I'm irrationally upset that you wouldn't take the 10 minutes to fix it. Well, I'm irrationally upset that you had trees come down in your yard and you just threw them in a fire. So I guess we're even? Beer. Paul or I would be furthest. I don't think the US is as tall as we are wide. Is it? I think you're further away than Texas. In a workshop, old and worn, where the sawdust falls like snow, there's a man named Mike. Oh, we're writing poetry. Eric sent me a song the last 2 weeks ago. He's known for the wooden things he grows. From sturdy beams to fine carved art, he crafts with care. I like this song. This is good. Or Florida Man. Yeah, you know, Kapla's not here. He might win. Yeah, Kapla would win. But I think between you and Paul, I think you're further away. I'm on iPhone, so if I wanted to check, I'd have to leave. Well, I think you can shut the game off at this point, can't you? Are we in the third period yet? 6-1? The black walnut tree that I burned was asking for it. See, now he's trolling people. Oh, I should have got the new Mike Tries a New Beer. All right, let's do that one. I just opened this one, but let's do Mike Tries a New Beer for the first time. All right. Tonight's Mike Tries a New Beer for the first time beer. Totally not sponsored. My honest, open opinion. With no influence from anybody. This is an Irish beer. I didn't know that when I bought it. Brewed in Ireland, 4.5% alcohol. It's a 500 ml can, so it's a tall guy for Canada. Yes. This beer is the Smithwick's Premium Red Ale. I don't believe I've ever had anything from Smithwick's. I do like a red ale. I like that, the simplicity of the can. It's nice coloring, has a nice gradient to the red. That's not bad, Lajeunesse says. Is it? Are you talking about this particular beer? Smittix is how it's pronounced? Really? They should smell it different. They should spell it different then. Smittix? All right. Apparently they've been brewing beer since 1710, which is not a surprise to me. I like a red ale. I like some things that are Irish. Let's give it a go. Any other information that we can glean from this? Relatively low percentage for a red ale. Most like red ales that I've had are more in the 5.5 to 6. All right, first go at the Smittix. According to the viewers, Premium Red Ale. I'm going to call it Smithwick's until I'm told by someone Irish. Rich, creamy. This is much more what I like in a beer than some of my previous. Rich, creamy, malty, but not super heavy. This is fucking delicious. Oh, I could crush these bad boys. Let me get a glass. I want to see this beer. That's really good. I kind of wanted to, I was trying to look for something that I might actually enjoy after the last few of the. This. Okay. So, dude, look at my last name. I am Irish. Yeah, but you're not actually. Did you grow up in Ireland, or do you have like Irish roots? Because I think I probably have a little bit of Irish in me as well. Welsh, for sure, but. Smithwick's Premium Red Ale. I'm going to look at whether or not I can get this in a bulk pack. Like, if this comes in not singles for $4 each, if I can get a 6-pack of these for a decent price, I'm going to buy the shit out of those. That's good. It is like the perfect level of malty versus hops, and like the perfect weight of like heaviness versus crispness. That might be the perfect beer for me. For my palate, this might be the perfect beer. There's that's an 11 out of 10. I did not expect that. I expected to enjoy it. I didn't know that it was Irish when I bought it. I went with, oh, single can red ale? Sure. I didn't know what I was into here. This is damn, that's good beer. I'm disappointed. The only disappointment that I have with this beer is that I might only be able to get it at $4 a can. Is there a Malin Castle? Yeah, right? See, Tim? If there's not a Malin Castle somewhere in Ireland, it's 4,000 miles from me to Mike. I'm the furthest viewer in North America. See, I thought you probably were. Smithwick's is the largest beer producer in Ireland. The W is not pronounced. You don't tell me what. Ireland is generally pronounced in the following ways. Oh, we're reading something. Due in large part to different Irish. It's Smithix, Smidix, Smididix. I like Smididix. Smithix, Smethix, Smith. Smithix, Smethix, Smith. I like Smethix. I could do Smethix. I could call that Smethix. Premium red ale. I want to call Ireland. Be like, this is the biggest beer producer in Ireland? Well, this one is goddamn fantastic. Smithix. It's maybe the perfect beer for my palate. It might be. It's like there's no weight to it. Like it's not heavy. It's still light and crisp, but it's also rich and flavorful. This might be the downfall of Mike's Wooden Things and stuff, is like all of a sudden he's just drowning in Smithwick's red ale. Shit. Now I'm gonna go back to drinking the Sleeman Original Lager, which is a it's a good beer, but it's no Smithwick's premium red. Holy shit. We're going to Tennessee to inspect that new land soon. No. Chris missed that whole thing. No, Chris was here, I think, for part of that. 13,107. That's why I said everybody except Eric. And I think Pinnell was the only one who said that he should not buy that. And thinking about it afterwards, I understand where Pinnell was coming from. Like he already has 30 acres. So adding a quarter acre next door. But I think your $5,000 quarter acre of land is a good purchase. Wait until he realizes he only bought one can. No, I already do. That's why I said like this is the only negative of this is that I think it only comes in singles at my local retailers. By the way, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do. I for some reason have to tell you that because of things with the algorithm and whatnots. This is the best beer I've ever had. The seasonal, the Salty Scott from Parallel 49 in Victoria. It's a seasonal offering that I don't know if they even do every year. Might be the only beer I like better than this. And this is much less niche than that. This I could drink all day, every day. That one, maybe not. I think I like the flavor of that one better. But this I could drink all day, every day. And never do anything else, obviously. But, damn. Smithwick's. $48 AU for 24 cans. You can get them in 24s? I can't get them in 24s. I don't think. Maybe I could get them to order me 24s. I would absolutely pay $50 for a 24 of these. Weekly. Consider Maine less than hospitable because it's remote. Cold, fine, snow, fine. Location, oh boy, is Halifax even crazier? You have higher populations there than Maine. Halifax, I might be 1 million people. How big is Halifax? You know, I think is what he's getting at. I want to say Halifax is at least 500,000 people. Halifax is a pretty big city in Canadian standards. I mean, we have Vancouver and Toronto, but after that, Canadian cities, like 250,000 people is a pretty big Canadian city. Like, yeah, that's accurate. 250,000 people in a city in Canada is a lot of people for a city in Canada. And I think Halifax is probably half. 500,000 people. I don't know, yeah, give or take a couple 100,000. The population of my province is 1 million people. The city of Halifax is 500,000 people. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was like when I was growing up in Saskatchewan. The population of the province was about 1 million people, except in 27 times as big an area as his province. But well over half of those were in Regina and Saskatchewan. Two cities had well over half the population of the entire province. Yeah, box or slab or a carton. Not sure what you call it. What you call it, a carton or a slab. I just go to the place and be like, "Can you get me these in bigger?" I don't want to buy them at $4. I want to buy them at $2. How many do I have to buy at a time for you to sell them to me for $2? I'm keeping this can, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna say, meh. Today's episode, completely not sponsored, but brought to you by Smithwick's. I almost want to overpronounce it now. Smithwick's Premium Red Ale, that I'm intentionally saying wrong, but is holy goddamn delicious. And maybe my new favorite beer. And if I can get them for $2 a piece, I am gonna drink myself to death. Whew. That was fun. That's the most fun I had on a beer review for quite some time. I am very disappointed that I only have one and can no longer go and get more. I'd call a cab to go get more. No, at $4 a can, I'm not gonna also pay $30 to go get a couple. But damn, if that's not a cheery endorsement, I don't know what is. Mikey B, can you drive? I need you to go get me a couple of the Smithwick's red ales. I'm gonna bring these to band practice. This is gonna be my new jam night beer. Not at $4 each. That's too much. $4 each for one. Just to like, maybe I'll just constantly keep one in the beer to like end of the night. When I'm having drinking nights, I'll just leave one in there to like, I'm gonna end every drinking night with this one, so that that's how I fall asleep, with the taste of this. Sure can't. New sponsors for the show. Man, somebody get in touch with Smithwick's. If they want to sponsor a YouTube show of a guy who sits in his garage talking nonsense to not very many people, I happily accept that endorsement. Considering they're apparently the biggest beer producer in Ireland, I don't think they probably need to do that kind of outreach. But if they did, I'm their man. That's rad. That is really, really good. I guess I thought Maine was a winter lockdown, but ocean deep winter. What? An hour ago, when you're talking about Weber, said you weren't going to mess with cheap stuff anymore, and you only wanted quality things. Quality of life things. Pound and beer doesn't need to be a quality of life thing. Did you work things out with Chili? Maybe? I don't know. I do have an order with him that's hopefully getting figured out. I don't know. I haven't talked to him for a bit. I will always be able to work things out with Chili. Scott is probably my best international friend. I apologize to the rest of you. Even Paul. Paul is a very good friend. But Scott Grant in Australia is my best international friend. way more things in common that I'm not going to get into, but he is my best international friend. Did someone say beaver chucks? No, but they might as well be. Like the quality of Beaver products is approximately the same as the quality of Bieber music, if that helps. It's produced for the masses as cheaply as possible to make as much money as possible. It's pretty good comparison, actually. Here Mike goes qualifying best friends again. Wish Amy was here. Amy would not have a problem with me saying that Scott is my best international friend. And I am qualifying that discussion. Don't fucking start with me, Pinel. That discussion was about how you can't have numerous best friends. You have to have qualifications. You have to have a best international friend, a best lady friend, a best drummer friend. Mike Bennett's my best drummer friend. You can't say I have numerous best friends, because best as a qualifier means singular. At work, maybe today or yesterday, I don't remember, but somebody said like something along the lines of like, well, this one's the betterest. I was like, or it was something, and I was like, well, well, technically that can't be a thing. Oh no, is the best. In any case, it was inaccurate. What they said was inaccurate, and I corrected them and said, well, you can't have a thing that's the best, that's better. Something can't be the best that isn't better than something else, because by definition it. I have problems. Okay, we've all established that I have some problems. That's one of them. Semantics. It's the proper use of language and semantic arguments and things is one of my problems. I can't not correct someone for saying something inaccurate. Linguistically. Is it either the triangle is either a right angle triangle or it isn't. Can't say like that's approximate. Like either something is square or it's not. It's a rhombus or it isn't. The things have definitions, and either something is the best or it isn't. You can't have like two of the best of the same. Doesn't matter. We all know. Don't make me find that and clip it. You told Amy she could only have one best friend. Yes, that's my point. She can only have one best friend. But you can have, this person is my best friend from Texas. This is my best friend from Australia. This is my best friend who plays drums. She was trying to say that she has more than one best friend, period. By definition, that is impossible. do the definition of the word best. I'm not going to have the whole fucking argument again. Amy said the exact same thing you're saying now after I corrected her. I'll go back and watch the show again, but I'm pretty sure. Said you can only have one best friend. Yes. I stand by that. You can only have one best friend. But I can have my best friend from Texas. Paul Waldrop's my best friend from Texas. Pinello is my best friend from Newfoundland, Scotia. We're all making our way through the world. It's all good. Am I still wiggity whack with anybody? Is anybody still skipping? I still want to know what that's for. Why do I wiggity whack? It's crisscross, right? I'm about you. Dig it out, y'all. And they're wearing their baseball shirts backwards and shit. And their baggy ass jeans backwards, I think. Those guys. Crisscross. Remember those guys? Oh. That might not be who I'm thinking. Who did wiggity whack? Somebody please help me out. That's going to bother me. They made me jump. 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 Everybody jump. Wiggity whack. They get their shirts on, their shirts and their pants on backwards, right? And they were like 4 months worth of cool. In, I want to say 1987. House of Pain. House of Pain is. Oh, maybe it is. Pinnell's looking it up now that the hockey game is all but over. What's the score? I can hear the wiggity whack. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Same with the garbage joints in the cabinet. They don't matter because it's good enough. 6-2 at the start of the third. So they got one back. That's Crisscross died in 2013 from drugs. Both of them? Was it a duo? That's unfortunate. Sorry, 6-1. Hey! That's better. I hope McDavid scored like 5 of those. He probably didn't. I'm going to say McDavid with 2, Draisaitl with 2, Evan Bouchard, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That's just a guess. In any case, I hope Evan Bouchard assisted on most of them because he's putting up a pace for a defenseman in the playoffs. Is like up there in his point total in a NHL playoffs. Like in probably going into the record books as like a top 5 most points in a playoffs. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but I pay a little bit of attention. I want another Smithix. This is okay. The Sleeman original draft, it's okay. It's no Smithix. But anybody else making anything cool right now? I'm making something cool right now. Paul's making another Telecaster. Who else is making cool things? Pinnell? See what I did there? Because it was funny. Very carefully cutting Lexan. Yeah, I bet. Because that shit ain't cheap. What are you making? Lexan is a product you should be cutting very carefully with. They were 13 when Jump came out. Yeah, they were just little. Besides money, obviously. Making union bucks to do spreadsheets. RC truck body. Yeah, he might be putting in little Lexan windows into truck bodies. That's a good guess, Todd. That's a good guess. Is that what you're doing, Mike? You putting Lexan windows in your truck bodies? Just started learning how to use a lathe. Huge rabbit hole. Welcome. Welcome. That's why I teach that at the shop that I work at. It's because I wish that I had some access to somebody who could guide me into the rabbit hole that I fell down. Putting rear quarter panels on my 1/10 Yoda crawler. Got it, Todd. Hey, it's the windows. Kister, welcome to the rabbit hole. It can be. It doesn't have to be a rabbit hole. I was worried about lathe. I was worried about turning, taking over once I fell in love with it, but it doesn't have to. It is a rabbit hole, but it doesn't have to be your be all end all. You can incorporate lathe work into your other work. I think I would like to think that I have found a pretty okay balance in terms of round and square. Maybe not. But yeah, there's lots of people that just do turning and they're fully down the rabbit hole, and that's wonderful and it makes them happy, and that's good. That's good. I didn't want to let it do that to me, and it easily could have. When I first got into turning, I was like, now everything is, now everything's round, baby. It's not windows. What are you making the Lexan pieces with then? Why you gotta be using Lexan if it's not for the windows for the truck? You could make a stool and combine square and round. I could, but the stool that I am working on has no round. It's curves. It's there's no round on the stool. That's what they make the body out of. You're making a custom truck body out of Lexan? You make me a Nissan Titan to go on the. Remember when we were talking about you guys putting all your extra parts together into a truck for me? You make me a 2017 Nissan Titan in blue out of Lexan. Finished the under window planter box, plant stand, white oak. Got a bowl. Yeah, sweet. Got a bowl shaped out on the lathe. Purchased a midi lathe, and it's very limiting. What lathe did you get? I have essentially 3 midi lathes. I don't find them that limiting because I don't have too much use for more than one 12-inch anything. But what did you get, and why is it limiting? Putting the truck bed quarter panels on the Sifcrawl had a rear flatbed. I don't know if they make a Titan yet. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can make one out of Lexan. You got a sheet of Lexan. Make me a Nissan Titan to go on the parts that we're gathering up so that I can have a. Everybody I know has a custom screwdriver and a mallet courtesy of you. You sure? Yeah. But midi lathes, you can do a lot with a midi lathe. You can turn 12-inch bowls on a midi lathe. You don't need much more than that for most things. You need plates, and it's an older Delta. Replace the startup capacitor. Yeah, but what is it about the midi lathe aspect of it that's limiting to you? It can't be the capacity unless you're trying to make big things. So yeah, I think it might be your imagination that's limiting you. Lots of things you can turn. At least you don't have to buy a cabinet. Yeah, that's a good point. A regular skeleton. I don't have to buy a cabinet to replace the other cabinet that I'm replacing on the shelf or on the wall because I'm making one. $100 at IKEA would have been just fine, but I'm replacing something I made with something better that I'm making. It's about life is about the joy that you're getting out of it. It's making me happy to replace not as good things with better things that I made. speed isn't digital. I also have turned a couple of big pieces and got bad wobbles. Yeah, weight and structure is super important. Uh, Variable speed is an advantage, but mainly it's about the stability. If things are shaking, you need to either spin slower or bolt things down better or have more heft. Some lathes are a little light to spin things that are the size they can handle. They sometimes need to be rooted to the ground a little better. But if things are shaken, turn the speed down until things stop shaking and then turn the speed up. When things aren't shaken anymore, it's one of the earliest lessons I learned by hurting myself pretty badly was spinning things when they were shaking. If it's shaking, oh no, it's like I'll just get it round eventually. No, if it's shaking, it's telling you that you should not be doing that. Turn the speed down, get things round, turn it up. If it's still shaking when things are round, you got to bolt it down better. And a lot of that comes to do with heft. Just the weight and substance of the tool itself. I have a variable speed but still change belts. I have my best lathe has 3 belt positions with a VSR. Just watched a video of a bowl being made and the guy was able to rotate the head, which seemed very cool. So he has a pivoting headstock that's costly. He either has like a Robust or a Vic Mark or one way or something. Those are very, very costly units. Actually, Jax in Australia has a lathe that his headstock can pivot out a little bit. I don't know how much, but and I don't think it's stupid expensive, but it's he spent more money on it because it does that. That's a feature he paid extra for sure. If I was teaching a turner, I think I would first teach tool sharpening. Dull tools are scary. I teach turners, and the first thing I teach them is carbide. The first thing I teach people is the safety of the machine, all of the parts of the machine and the physics of how it works, and using carbide. And then at level 2, we get into high-speed steel and sharpening and the different physics of things involved in that. So that's how I teach turners. I tell them to start with the low-hanging fruit and find a love for it, and then move up to a different cutting style and a different physics. But yeah, if I was going to start turners with gouges, I would absolutely start with sharpening. And I am not really the expert in sharpening. I don't think I should take brand new beginners and start them with gouges and sharpening, because I'm not that good. And it would also be like a 2-day class instead of a 3 or 4 hour class. to take somebody from nothing to understanding gouges and turning successfully. What's freaking cool is watching guys turn whole trees. Giant turning. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. But how practical is it? Like, it's not something I want to do because I have no use for that. But yeah, no, it's cool. Welcome to the show, Kister. Do you have an actual name that you would like me to use? Because I'm pretty good at remembering people. And where are you in the world? I like to know where people are coming at us from. And if they would like for me to remember that their name is Brent, I'm over time I'm pretty good at it. Might have to go have a quick urination beside the house. Thanks, man. My name is Mike. I live near Yosemite National Park. Yosemite National Park is in Wyoming, I think. Maybe. Mike, I can maybe remember. Kister is Mike. I am also Mike, so it should be easy, but Kister is Mike in Yosemite. Can I make this connection? Kister, Mike. I don't want to kiss Mike. Kister, Mike, Yosemite. Yosemite Sam. Kister. I don't know how this connection is going to happen, but it's in California. Oh, it's Yellowstone that's in Wyoming. Because I don't know, to the rest of the world, like the U.S. National Park System, you got Yosemite, you got Yellowstone. That's about it. I know a few more than that, but just because I'm in Canada and we have some that are close. Peter Fonsby released a video today showing how to peel bark for chair caning. Of course he did. Joshua Tree National Park, I know, but only because of some Irish guys. The balance of mics has been restored. 7-1 Oilers. Right on. Yellowstone is Wyoming. Okay, cool. Too many double-lettered names, dude. Pinnell, Bennett, Mallon, Kister, Lajeunesse. Yeah. You guys are going to have to start losing some letters. Nadia. Oh, she actually does have a double letter. Cassis. Amy. I've forgotten her last name, which makes me sad. Chili Man. Double L's. Yep. There's a lot of double letters. All right, I'll see what I can do. Mike Kister. Todd. Scott. Yeah. I don't have any. Matata. Yes. Fearsome. Matata. No, I didn't. What do you mean, no, I didn't? What did I say? Benetata. How am I doing for power? About half-ish. Yeah, I got some time. We can keep going. Ooh. Mike tries a second thing he's never had before. Mike got this free thing from the beer store. Oh, that was actually pretty good. As a frequent patron of the beer store, this has actually been sitting around for a while. It was in before last week's show, actually. I went in to get my beer, and the guy was like, "Here, have one of these." 8-1 Oilers. Yes. Oh, watch them come back and win the Stanley Cup. I will cry. I don't really care about hockey that much. I will cry like a baby. Guy was like, here you go. I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is. Bullet Blue Sambuca. I don't really like Sambuca because it tastes like licorice, like black licorice, not good licorice. But the Bullet Blue Sambuca single shot. Why not? Let's try it. It's been sitting around for like a week. It's got like a foil top thing. What am I, like 20? Oh, it smells like garbage black licorice. So you just took Sambuca and you called it, and you put some blue in it and called it Blue Sambuca? Like, how's that? That's not Blue Sambuca. You didn't change anything. It's just Sambuca. You turn blue and put it in a fucking Tetra Pak. Like, that's not. No. It's not good. There's no difference between that and regular Sambuca, except that it's blue. You can call it something else just because it's a different color. Yeah, it was free. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Guy was like, here. But don't expect that the Sambuca, because it's blue, is going to taste any different. It's still just gross black licorice flavored cough syrup shit. That's my review on the Bullet Blue Sambuca shot that you get at the till at the liquor store. Don't, unless they give it to you for free. Oh, that. Now I need another Smithwick's. Dude, the Sleemans are not going to get rid of the flavor of that. Don't buy that. 8-1 Oilers. Yes. My name is Sambuca now. No, your name is Mike from Yosemite. Your name is Mike Yosemite. Mike Yo. Mike. Your name is now Mike Yo Yosemite. Kister. Hold on. I'll figure out a way to make this connection. Mike Yosemite Kister. Kister Mike Yo. Kister Mike Yo. If I just say things often enough, maybe it Kister Mike Yo. Oh, yeah. I should be able to do this. Like Mike Yo Kister. Samity. There was a girl named Samity. Mike Yo kissed her. Samity isn't really a name. Samity. Yeah, let's make a connection here. Yosemite, Mike Yosemite. Kissed her at Yosemite. Mike Yo also kissed her at Yosemite. Mike and where did Mike kiss her? Remember when Mike kissed her? Yeah, no, that was at Yosemite. I don't know. Maybe it'll help. If you were my neighbor, I would want you to show number 602 Bedrock hand plane. I don't have a 602. I have a type 6. Number 6. Holy shit, someone make him stop. Nobody can make me stop. And honestly, Bennett, you can make me stop by just clicking the little button that says, like, no thank you anymore. You don't have to. Nobody's keeping you here, my friend. And that's how he got banned from the USA, because what happened in Yosemite. That's not how I got banned in the USA. I appreciate the joke. It's inaccurate. It's fun seeing similar stuff show up on Facebook. Hand tool groups. Yeah, I love seeing all of the hand tools that people are showing off and trading and selling and whatever. It's at the point where I can't afford them anymore. Like, the hand tools have gotten so popular, they've gotten out of my price range. You can buy like a needs refurbishment type 17 number 4 that needs refurbishment for like $80. No. Game's over. 8-1. Yes. 33 shots for the Oilers, 36 for the Panthers. Was Stuart Skinner in goal? Because there was talk about them maybe going to backup guy whose name I don't remember. I hope that Stuart Skinner got his groove back tonight and stopped 35 shots in an 8-1 victory. And now he's like flying high as like, I'm the best goaltender in the world. I'm better than Sergei Bobrovsky. Stories about planes found or picked up for $1. Guy found a number 1 today at a church sale for $155, and it's worth $1,000. Everything is worth what people will pay for it, and that's what it is. I paid X number of dollars for the thing. That's what it's worth to me. Really stuck on whether or not to restore it. Hold on. Gotta go back. 602 Bedrock. Broken chip breaker. Okay. Yeah, if you feel like my opinion is valuable, I don't know if I would personally, but you can send me pictures of it at woodenthingsandstuff@gmail.com, and I'm happy to give you my thoughts on whether or not that's a journey worth your time. I haven't done a lot of hand plane restoring, but I could give you my own, like, or I think basketball games can get to 200, but it's very lopsided. Yeah. Heard of 70 in football. Baseball, never heard over 30 points. Oh, it's because baseball is so fucking slow. Like, baseball would be better if they got over 30 points. Like, make the pitcher throw the fucking ball. We just stand there and stare at the catcher for 27 seconds between throwing the ball every time. Like, yeah, obviously. I don't want to fight about what sports are good, but baseball is shit. Make them throw the ball. The catcher should throw the ball back to the pitcher. The pitcher should have like 7 seconds to throw it back in front of the batter. The hardest thing in sports is for a batter to hit a baseball thrown by a pitcher. If you want more scoring in baseball, give the pitcher less time to have to throw it. You stand there for a minute and a half to think about what he's doing and plan his thing to do the hardest thing in sports. We're going to make it easier to score points. Give the pitcher less time to have to throw the ball. Michael Jenks is the man for parts. Yeah. Also, there's a guy in up in Pennsylvania, the northeast of the U.S. Hyper Kitten? Why does that sound like it? I'm not sure. Sometimes things come to mind, and I don't really know why. Jim Bodie Tools, yeah, but I don't think he's really a huge restoration guy. But he's got a lot of stuff. Maybe even reach out to Just Plain Fun. Yeah, okay. Restoring planes is interesting. Collectible enough value on some where touching them is frowned upon. Making it shiny is some people's things. I prefer using, sharpening, cleaning. Yeah, I have some planes that I need to do some work on to make them into what they need to be, but I'm not going to try to make them back into what they were brand new. That's stupid. Same thing I do with furniture. Like people come and ask me sometimes down at the shop, like, how can I bring this back to like what it was new? And I tell them, shut up, don't do that. Because you're never going to refurbish a piece of furniture and make it look new when it was built in 1982. And why would you want to? Like, respect its history and its life. There's there's a difference between like touch ups and increasing its lifespan versus like stripping and refinishing to try and make it look like a new piece of furniture. Just build a new piece of furniture if you want a new piece of furniture. I'm going off. He's going off the rails. Look out. It's all coming apart. Sorry. My bad. I'm gonna go have to piss. What's the most challenging thing you build? The most challenging thing I build. The way that that's phrased implies that I build something numerous times, which I don't. Just the way that that's phrased, I don't have a most challenging build because most of what I make, I only make once. Hyper Kitten is Patrick Leach. See? I know some things. I didn't know what his actual name was, but isn't Patrick Leach Patrick's Blood and Gore? From the Stanley type website? Oh, did I make a connection? Jim Bodie is actually almost neighbor mine, like 5 miles away. I could hit that with a football. Jim Bodie is 5 miles away from Tim. I could hit that with a football. Just like throwing it over those mountains. I'm gonna go use the bathroom beside my house for a minute. Oh, it is a beauty day here in Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada. That's why Blood and Gore is hosted by See, I don't know. I rarely see his Veritas stuff. He's got to offer antique stuff. Isn't that obviously the guitars? I've lost track. Oh, the most difficult things that I build? Is that what that answer is? Yeah, I guess guitars are probably the most Was it complicated? I have to look at the phrasing of the question. Depending on the phrasing of the question, the guitars are probably the most complicated things that I make. However, I've only ever finished one. And complicated is a different question, because guitars aren't any more complicated than the cabinet that I'm working on right now, in terms of just being this step and then this step and then this step and then this step. Like a well-made wall cabinet is just as complicated as an electric guitar. Yeah. This fucking thing is getting in my way. Oh, speaking of this fucking thing that's getting in my way, I got some free wood carving tools. Well, they weren't really free. I guess they're free. Hey, Natty's here. Speaking of free wood carving tools, Nadia got a huge donation to the shop from a silversmith, I guess. A local-ish craftsperson who was getting out of her work and was donating a bunch of it to the shop. And I went and picked a bunch of it up. Well, I went and picked it up. And out of all of the things that she donated to the shop, there were a couple of things that Natty was like, oh, Mike can have this. And one of which was, actually, there was only one of these things. The only thing that Nadia picked out of all of the things that got donated that I could have, after driving for an hour to go get the donation, and then driving it back to the shop and loading it up and unloading it, etc., etc. It's fine. Whatever. Natty decided that she didn't want, and I could have, this set of Ramelson carving tools. I don't know anything about Ramelson carving tools. They're very, very small. They're sharp. They're basically brand new, but I don't know any other than the fact that they are like a palm grip carving tool. They're very comfortable in the hand, and they're very sharp and basically brand new, but I don't know anything about Ramelson. Ramelson USA, hand forged, heat treated since 1937. I don't know, a set of 6 carving tools. For the record, the donation is for all of us to use and share at the shop. Okay, well, I'm going to come in, I'm going to melt a whole whack of silver and just make stuff. Because it's for everybody to use, so I'm just going to come in, I'm just going to grab a whole whack of silver and just start melting it. It's funny, okay? Just settle down. Welcome to the show, Nadia. Free tools that only cost $60 in gas. No, they didn't cost. It was about $100 in gas, honestly, to go get it. Which she was going to pay for, but it's her husband's birthday tomorrow, and we're going golfing on Monday. So I think instead of having her pay me for the gas to go get it, that's gonna be that's a shit gift for my friend Jason to be like, yeah, no, you don't have to pay for gas for us to go golfing. That's a shit gift. Never mind. I was gonna say, like, we just break even on the gas expense for what it cost me to go get Nadia's stuff from Sayward. That's not a good gift for husband for his birthday. In my head, it sounded okay, but when I say it out loud, that sucks. Hey, Kapla's here. We were just talking about you a little while earlier because we were talking about the furthest away in North America that any of my viewers are. And Pinnell had it. He had the claim to the furthest away in North America. And I think you might beat him. That set would cost about 120 AU dollars. So yeah, it's like a 6-piece set of little mini palm carving tools. I don't know. I might use them for something eventually. Beer. Check your distance from your place to Campbell River, BC. Yeah, Pinnell is currently the high score on that. I think Kapla might win it. Way down at the bottom corner of the U.S. The 2,600 miles? That is not enough miles. Pinnell's way further away than that. I told you, Pinnell, like the U.S. is not as tall as we are wide. Where's Pinnell? Pinnell is in Halifax. Well, he's just outside of Halifax, Nova Scotia. As the crow flies, or his crow's nest is. Oh! Kaplahu, a regular skeleton? I'm going to ask you the same questions I asked Yosemite. Mike Yosemite kissing Mike in Yosemite. I'm still trying to make that connection. Where are you at? A regular skeleton? Do you have an actual name that you would like for me to try and remember? There's a very small chance at this point, but maybe over time, if you keep coming back and getting into the community, because that's what this show is about. It's about building community of people who want to like support each other and and commit to each other in terms of being supportive and things. Miami to Mike is 3,500 miles, since I don't know where Florida Man lives. And Pinnell is 3,900 miles. How many football fields is that? How many Canadian football fields is that? Call me skeleton? I'd rather not. Honestly, like, I will if that's what you want. I'd rather not. Can I call you like Skelty? Or something? Near Gainesville, Florida. Home of the University of Florida. One of the most prestigious universities in Gainesville, Florida. Kapla is a Klingon word that means something like success, as well as a few other phrases. Tim, no, we got another. One of the most prestigious universities in the Gainesville, Florida area. I like that. That was pretty good. You got the 5th largest by enrollment in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got to admit, though, that was pretty good. Like, I think that was pretty good. So the university, the UBC, is one of the most prestigious universities in the lower mainland of British Columbia. It was a funny joke. Shut up. I'm the only one that's criticizing me for that joke, so I should shut up. Anyway, Pinnell, what university do you work at? It's one of the most prestigious universities in your community. I think Sean McGill is also a university guy in Ottawa. I wonder what university. I don't think I've ever clarified with McGill what university he works for in Ottawa. God, I hope it's not. Shit, what's your email again? I am woodenthingsandstuff@gmail.com. Woodenthingsandstuff@gmail.com. Also the UEG, University of the Everglades. Yeah, and UCF. I think they're like the University of Central Florida is in that area. It's also Florida State University, the Seminoles. Go. I work at the second most prestigious university in my city. Okay. So I know what that is now. Prestigious is also a variable. Doesn't matter. The university landscape is a weird thing. There are 3. Yes, there are. But you're not even in that city, technically. Currently, UF has a little over 60,000 students with another 12,000 students at Santa Fe College. Well, like UCLA has off campuses too. Like they're probably bigger than USC. with all of their sub campuses and stuff. It doesn't. It's irrelevant. Like in terms of prestige. And honestly, at this point, really, what does it matter? People are looking at your credentials and going like, "Oh, he went to." No, they're not. In most situations. Minnesota number 9. Cool. I bet all the enrollment has a lot to do with specialized in teaching. It's true. Like you want to go to engineering school, you want to go to that school. You want to go to robotics, you want to go to that. If I'm going to get a BA, nobody cares if it's from the University of Georgia's Akron campus. It's a BA, you know. Uh, if you're getting an engineering degree, it's going to be probably maybe looked at better from certain schools than others, but I don't think if you're like talking regionally, I don't think anybody is going to take a general arts degree more seriously from the University of Ottawa than they are from Carleton, which are in the same city. Or Memorial or Acadia or any of those other schools. Depends on the degree and the instructors and the program. Like I took journalism from probably the second best journalism program in British Columbia at the time. Nobody cares now. Arizona State has 79,000. Yeah, but Arizona State, don't they have like 14 satellite campuses or something, like all over the Southwest? Got big nursing programs in Florida. The place has big nursing going on. I hope that we are training more medical people. Seems like everywhere has a medical personnel shortage. Probably mainly because they're stupidly underpaid. Again, why would you want to go spend $50,000 on education to make $30 an hour? Or $20 an hour, or whatever nurses are getting paid. I love how I underpriced them at $30 an hour. And they're probably getting significantly less than that. I wonder, I should ask my friend Ariane, what she's getting paid per hour to be a nurse, or my friend Brad. It's not enough money to be an integral part of our medical system. Madison, Wisconsin is a college town where students kept staying until there was no room left. Yep. Glad I found this channel. I love live videos and chatting. That's what the Saturday night show is. You're welcome to stick around on Saturday nights as long as you are fun and cool. And weird in the right way. Like, we're all weird. And we should embrace that weirdness. Just don't be weird in an obnoxious or unaccepting way. What kind of stuff into new what? What kind of stuff you into new, my kister? Oh, okay, I get you. Do you work? I haven't been reading the chat. Mikey B wants to know what Mike Kister does. Mike Kister is having problems with his lathe. I think he's struggling with the capacity of his lathe and wanting to develop as a turner. By my understanding, just in general passing, but I might be starting as an auto mechanic on Tuesday. What? Shit? Really? They offered me a job, but I don't know what they want. You might be starting a job on Tuesday, but you don't know what the job is? It might be a thing to just take a step back and go like, let's establish what this role is before I commit to that. Yeah, I don't know what they do, and I don't know what they want from me, but they want to pay me to do it. I think that might be a time to just like step back and iron that stuff out. Semi-retired house painter starting woodworking as a hobby. Okay, cool. House painters are a different breed. I think more people should pay house painters to paint their house than I'm gonna do it myself when I paint a room and whatever. But like I happily acknowledge that professional those people are going to be worth the money. They are. It's the same with a lot of things. Like I could change my own oil, I could replace my own this and that. Pay the people that are experts at it sometimes. Been working at hardware store just to hold you over, and that one came you right. Sure, just make sure that it's clarified what it is that the expectations are and what you're going to be doing before you commit yourself to something that you might end up regretting. And then not being able to take another job because you're working at this place that you hate the people and the job and whatever. Just make sure that things are like clarified for you before you just jump in. Why travel? Sean is here. The first thing they will insist is you not get hurt or break something. Well, as with every job, they might just need help because they had a few people keep quitting. Said something about tired of 19-year-olds quitting after a few weeks. Well, because maybe you don't have expectations built in or a training program or like that's the other thing that I find with a lot of places these days is they're not willing to actually put the effort into bringing people up to speed. They're like they want to hire entry level positions and then they get mad at them for not being able to get up to where they want them without either paying for training or having a mentor or uh, any sort of guidance. They're like, well, this person didn't catch on. Well, you didn't fucking give them any instruction. You just threw them into the thing and said, like, figure it out. Obviously, the 19-year-old is going to be like, what? Like, there's got to be some kind of like training system built in. If you're going to be like putting people into positions, you have to have some levels of instructions. And there's all these people that are like, oh, these young kids don't want to work anymore. No, you don't want to pay oversight. You don't want to pay training. That's the problem. You don't want to pay for them to go to do an apprenticeship at a school. So, like, you also can't pay your senior guy to train your junior guy because he's too busy because you won't hire another apprentice. Like, I'm going to start going off about capitalism. Don't, let's not. We're trying to be positive. We're here to support each other and be positive about the world. Try probably 5 or 6 different trades before painting. Find a job you like and feel productive at. Yeah, and it's like whatever. Jobs aren't supposed to be all happy time all the time. You need to be doing the job for the people who employ you, but there has to be a level of respect and appreciation in both directions. And too often that is not the case. Did I miss the new beer commercial? Yeah, you did. You're going to have to scroll back. Yeah, Mike's wooden things and stuff in communism. That's not the case. I don't want to get into it. Like how they expect you to train but still keep up the level of work. See, I'm an engineering manager, and I love hiring kids right out of college and teaching them everything the right way, deprogramming college education for real world education. Yeah. And if your employer as a manager is willing to pay you for the time to do that, that's great. That's great. I think that everybody should be trained specifically for the company. I don't want to get arguing, and I'm trying to be positive, you guys. Every week this happens. I get all like, it's not communism. There's a huge gray area between late stage capitalism and communism. Wow, beer. Usually I say that before I go get it, but last few days it's been 100 plus Fahrenheit. So working on irrigation has not been real fun. I can't imagine it would be. Remember, I was driving all day, just resetting from doing 200 plus miles in a day was difficult. Yeah, I need to dial it back too. I was like, this is supposed to be my fun, happy time with my friends on the internet. The dog that is yelling down the street is bothering me. That's not helping. Either somebody has abandoned their dog in their yard or there's a bad pet owner. Either way, that bothers me and raises my blood pressure a little bit. It's a small dog too, and those I don't really think those should be. Kidding. Small dogs have just as much right to live on the world as we do. But if you're going to have a small dog and leave it out in your yard and just have it yelling all the time, I don't think you're a good person. And we're all here to be good people together. It's stressing me out. I should just try to not let it. How awesome is this cabinet? That's going to be a pretty rad wall cabinet. This is going to be my Veritas Band-Aids drawer. This is going to have a door in it, a frame panel door that's going to be wine gums and other snacks. These drawers, I don't know what's going to happen exactly with those yet. Maybe router bits. I might do removable router bit trays in these. I'm not sure exactly. And then this, I think, this cubby right up here, I think might just be like an action figure. I think I might just have like one of my nicest action figures just living up there. And then in this cubby right here, I'll make a little sort of lidded bowl that's pretty. Just live in there. It's not the most efficient use of space, but I think it'll be okay. I think it's Is that cabinet from IKEA? Yeah, that's the Schön in Snitzenberg. You guys go to IKEA.com and look for the Schön in Snitzenberg. That's what that is. I want to close the garage door because of the dog, but I like the garage door open because of the light and the air. Such irresponsible dog ownership. If you're gonna have pets, be a responsible pet owner. Don't be whatever the fuck is happening over there. Because it's affecting other people. Just shout once really loud. I did like if I had an air horn. No, then they just get more angry probably, or whatever. My Shih Tzu barked at bunnies in the yard. She's used to them. Outside bunnies get 500. Yeah. With the Goblin King action figure in there. No, Jareth is in pack, never opened. I am never taking him out of the box. Is that an ongoing thing? I don't know. This is the first time that I've had the door open on the show at this time of night. So I've never noticed it before, but just feels like the dog has been left in the yard and nobody cares. And I'm gonna have to close the garage door even though I don't want to, for the air and the light and everything else, because it is actually really getting to me. Like it's starting to tense up my muscles and stuff. it's none of my business, really. But Jared, does he have the classic Bowie bulge? I have never looked at the cockle area of the action figure. Tim, he might. It's a pretty realistic action figure. You can look it up if you want. It's the Jareth NECA 1989-ish 12-inch Jareth from NECA Collectibles, I believe. Surprised the other neighbors aren't checking it out. Yeah, it's pretty odd to have a dog just going off like that. And I can still hear, even with the door closed, like it's not helping me get less tense about it. Like, can somebody just go deal with this bad pet owner? Be great. Sent you a pic of the plane, Mike. Okay, I'll check it out after the show. I have my things turned off so they don't go bzz, 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 when I get notifications, but I'll check it out after. It's just a small dog left in the yard and just completely abandoned. And I'm torn between just murdering it and just burning their house down and saving the dog and burning their house down instead. Small, noisy dogs are typical. I'm not a fan of tiny dogs for that exact reason. Yeah, but most of the time they're kept inside your house. Like if you have a small barky dog, at least you have the walls of your house keeping that noise in. Oh, hold on. It stopped. It stopped. Oh. I hope that wasn't just somebody went and slit its throat. Oh, shit. Really? It stopped. It could not have been me opening the door that started it, because it's like half block down. I just thought it was going to be so much better. Thought it was going to be so much better for a minute, but it's not. Hey, here's another question. What the shit is a high chew? Anybody? My buddy Brad that lent me the shoulder plane and a couple of clamps for this current cabinet. He's like, hey, you want a high chew? I was like, okay. I don't know what those are. Should we do a first try of a new candy? On top of, like, Mike's first try of the beer. We'll do Mike's first try of a new candy. It's like, yeah, no, I've been eating these for years. Do you want one? I'm like, okay. Apparently they're an Asian candy of some kind. Mike tries a candy for the first time tonight. I can do better. Mike tries a new candy. No, hold on. Trying a candy for the first time tonight. That's okay. High chew. High chew. Mike tries a candy for the first time tonight. Immensely fruity, intensely chewy. Where do you even get these? This is like plastic. Like it's like a subtle. It's a subtly flavored polyurethane. I mean, like, this is the type of stuff that I would chisel out of a corner if I was doing hot glue. It's like, yeah, it's a subtle flavored hot glue goop. Like, when you get like too much hot glue on something and you have to chisel it off. It's better than that, but not a whole bunch. And it has a very subtle undertone of and it doesn't dissolve. Like, it's still the same amount of mass in my mouth as it was like when I put it in. It's not going anywhere. Like, this is still the same amount of information that came out of the I don't think there's any food in the candy. Like, I think it might just be plastic. Like, I think if you dissolved a little bit of like Kool-Aid powder into some hot glue, it's still not going anywhere. Am I supposed to chew it? Like, it's called high chew. Maybe I should be chewing it. I don't think a candy should not dissolve, like, as your acids and things break it down in your mouth. It's getting a little bit smaller. But it's a soft candy. Like, okay. I don't. High chew? Not sure. Not sure. I don't think a high chew should be consumed. It feels like silicone and a slight flavoring. Taffy gum. Yeah, that. So I got to scroll back a little bit. 1956, Morinaga came up with the predecessor of today's high chew. Tasty strawberry flavored morsel you could chew like gum. Oh, you're supposed to chew it. I guess that makes sense. It's called high chew. And oh, it's like gum you can swallow. Oh. So that's why it's high chew. It's like it lasts a long time and you can chew it, but you don't spit it out. It dissolves eventually. Okay. I don't think that's a good decision. And I am not the most healthy of individuals. I think for someone like me to say maybe don't put this in you because it's bad, I think that might make it extra bad because I put a lot of things in me that are not good for you. I think this might be the worst thing I've ever put in me. And like I've smoked heroin. No, don't do that. Don't high chew. That feels like poison. It's like chewing pine resin. Yeah, like M&Ms. No, M&Ms. I don't know. We've had this discussion before about how like M&Ms and Skittles and Smarties and stuff are different in Canada. This high chew, uh, don't put that in you. That there's no way that that's a thing you should put in you. It's not good enough. That's the thing. It's all this balance, right? It's like is if it's delicious enough, and if it's awesome enough, if it's awesome enough, it's worth it for it to be bad for me. This is not good enough tasting to make it worth how bad this is going to be for you. When I smoke a cigarette, I know that it's terrible for me. But I like it more than that. Not so with high chew. Ah, Brad, how do you eat those? As a medical professional, this is a guy who is a well-educated friend of mine in the medical profession who has these in his shop. Brad, we need to have a chat about this, my friend. You have children. That's the commercial for it. We should clip that out. Be like, damn, there's don't ever. I have put bad things into me, and I will not put another one of those things into me. What was I think I may have said something about smoking heroin. Here's the commercial. Ready? High chew that a friend of mine gave me. I put one in my mouth and I'll never do it again. Because I think this is worse for you than smoking heroin. The only thing I smoke is meat on the barbecue. Yeah, sure. For chocolate licorice over normal cherry or strawberry licorice. I don't. I have never liked the flavor of like natural licorice or black licorice or anything like that. It's just a personal preference. I've just never liked that flavor. I love nibs. I don't like as much Twizzlers, but nibs licorice. It's not even called licorice, but the people who make licorice, they make nibs, and I like those. Nadia loves high chew. Okay, well, it's fine. I think that that's an unnatural product that should dissolve much more quickly as a candy than it does. I think it. I think it's mostly plastic. I think it's worse for you than like craft singles. It's like I think it's the stuff that got scraped off the factory floor when they were making other things and they just added some flavoring to it and then sold it as a candy. Heroin is not smoked, is it? The TV is drug education. I mean, we can do a show if you want at some point about different ways of bringing narcotics into your system, but you can absolutely smoke heroin. Don't. Yeah, TV doesn't tell everybody how to do all of the drugs. Don't like licorice or anise. That's the flavor. That was the word I was looking for earlier when I was talking about black licorice. Anise is the natural flavor of black licorice, right? Stuck in the soles of boots and scraped out with sticks. Yeah, it's just it feels like some gunk on a floor that was scraped up with a big paddle and balled into, and then they added some artificial flavoring and chopped it into, I don't know. It's bad. Well, it's Sunday here. Going to say, all right, later, Kapla. Thanks for coming in, though. I haven't seen you for a bit. Kraft singles is what we grew up on if you're born. Yep. I still prefer my grilled cheese sandwiches to be 2 pieces of white bread with Kraft singles, buttered on both sides, and fried. I like good grilled cheese sandwiches, but sometimes I want a nostalgic 1985 Kraft singles grilled cheese. And I just like eat it and cry about how much better life used to be. Marshmallows for breakfast. Fried. Anybody would grow up having Welsh rarebit for breakfast. One of my favorite breakfasts as a kid when I was growing up. And I don't know if this is like cultural or it's like melted cheddar cheese in some milk poured over bread. I know I've come to know that Welsh rarebit is an actual recipe that involves sometimes beer and other things, but Welsh rarebit as breakfast for me, it's like my favorite thing when I was like a dozen years old. And it was just cheddar cheese thinned down with milk, basically, scooped over toast. And once in a while, I just want that to like bring me back to my childhood joy of like what it, because flavors and scents and things can like emotionally bring you back to those points in time where that was happy for you, just like you were then. And if you're lucky enough to like touch those points with something like that, there's nothing else like it. It's like when we hear a song that connected with us when early on, when we first connected with music, and now we hear it now and we haven't heard it for a long time, and it brings us joy as it did back then. It's like it transports you to that point, and it makes you feel like you felt right then. And that's a wonderful thing. Simpler time, rotary phones. I'm not going all like, ooh, everything was better back then. I'm just talking about like emotionally when you can connect back to your past when you felt something. I would love to use a rotary phone. Just it did, even just to play with it as a not connected thing and just like feel like it felt and do it and have just to, it would connect with you in some way to how that felt 34 years ago, the last time you did it. I, I, I think that's amazing, the way that our brains make those connections. I hear no dog. All right, where are we at for power? We're at 28%. We'll wrap this up shortly. There's way more people here still at 2.5 hours. Our phone was a party line. I've heard about party lines. I was never part of one, but I absolutely was part of coil rotary phones. Or calling your parents to come pick you up by using a payphone and calling them collect and saying, and your collect call is like, hey, say your name at the beep. And your name was, hey, come pick me up at Safeway. Anybody else? I'm at the mall at the Safeway side. Please come pick me up. Hey, will you accept a collect call from, hey, I'm at the Safeway side of the mall. Can you come pick me up? Lucky Charms. and many had marshmallows. I always loved Honey Nut Cheerios and Peanut Butter Captain Crunch. I was a big fan of Honey Nut Cheerios as well, but if you put Vegemite in vodka, it smells like alcoholic barbecue sauce. I imagine it probably would. Plug your phone into the charger. Oh, should we try to figure that out again? Before it goes dead? Alright, we can go if we can get it plugged in. Remember last time you guys fell all over the floor and it's just a bunch of nonsense. I don't even remember how it went. Alright, plug this in, tape that in. We'll see if we can get it figured out by the time the thing runs out. I'll go for as long as you guys want. I don't care. It's Father's Day tomorrow. Happy Father's Day. Get the hockey tape. Yeah. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. All right. Well, let's see if we can get it figured out. If we can keep going, we can keep going. At least the dog isn't barking anymore. Ooh, taking Pops down to Qualicum for the big car show. Oh, sweet. Didn't we used to have a big car show here? Did that just fall apart? Yeah, plug it in on the other side of the bench. Yeah, we had a big car show here that was like airplanes and shit. Airplanes and cars. I covered it for the newspaper. The Wings and Wheels. Is that not still a thing? Clamp on there, and this goes over there. This is such a terrible. Oh, that fell off the bench. God. All right, let's. I need to get that power bar hooked up. It's right over there. So unplug the table saw. Unplug whatever that is. Oh. I like that you guys like me enough that you want the show to keep going. It's kind of ridiculous to me, but I appreciate it. It's like, oh no, it's almost gonna end. Please plug in your phone. still happens every year. Okay, yeah. The one at the plaza, yeah, that's just pretty shit though. Wings and Wheels at the airport, yeah. The one at the plaza is just those guys seem like really hoity-toity. Like every year, those guys seemed really, I don't know. Is I think life is too short to take yourself that seriously, if that makes sense. Anyway, but let's see if we can get this thing. Oh, that's on there charging. Let's tape you guys on and we'll plug in. Yeah. Apparently, I muted. Yay! Trying to tape a wireless charger to the back of my phone and then load it up back in my tripod. It's not a thing that is super easy to do, you guys, especially after whatever 6 or 7 beer and a shot of blue Sambuca. Yeah, it's charging. I gotta be able to tape it. Yeah, okay. That can go there. Where can this charge? There. Nope. Yeah. And then this can, nope, not charge. And like, this is not as easy as you guys are all like, ooh, it should be just easy. You know what? You guys are not worth this much effort, honestly. Logitech cams are cheap. Oh yeah, no, that'd be great. If I was running things through a computer instead of my phone. Wonder if that'll actually charge. Nope. I don't know if it's gonna work tonight, my friends. I would love to see how this phone's set up. Taped to a 2x4, propped up on a beer can, leaning against the beaver truck. No, well, first of all, my wireless pad thing needs to be taped into this because it's a loose connection. And then that needs to get taped to the back of my phone. And then it needs to get taped to the back of my phone in a way that it can still sort into too bad there's no way for him to take a picture of the apparatus he's assembled. Well, you could come do it. If you were qualified to drive right now, you could. All right, we'll go. Get that taped into that. Okay, get that taped into that. We'll try to get it taped on to the phone. No. No, it's just shit. I need a new phone so I can do this show without all this garbage nonsense. We can also just maybe not worry about doing the show for 4 hours at a time. Doing the show for 3.5 hours. We don't need to keep it going. No, we do. We like hanging out with each other. Why is this fucking thing not working? I want to hang out with you guys as much as you want to hang out with me. Probably more, to be honest. I just need a new phone. We'll see. Maybe I can figure it out. If I get it figured out in the next, I don't know, I'm at 22%. If I get it figured out in the next 22%, we can keep going. If I don't, that'll be the end of tonight. And that'll be okay. That's just the way that it's going to be. Yes. Just so stupid. Like, go buy a new one of these. But no. Because I don't have enough supporters at Mike's Wooden Things and stuff at patreon.com. Patreon.com/wooden things and stuff. If you want to support this nonsense. So that's now attached to that. Pretty well. Now, we're going to wrap it up. I can't get the charger thing figured out. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. That's it for tonight. I can't get the tape and the charger and everything figured out. Bye for now. Thanks for coming. Welcome to the new peeps. That's a huge piss off because I wanted to keep hanging out. Bye for now. See you next week. Disappointing.